Hey guys, Travis Edwards here, author of the book The Secrets to Success in Diet and Exercise, The Art of Keeping It Simple, and founder of TransformingSelfWhatever.com. And today we're going to be talking about weight loss, including tips and tricks for you to lose weight. And I'm sitting beside me, we have Felicia here. So Felicia, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your story and exactly how much weight you lost?
Okay, sure. Well, my story begins from my childhood, actually. I grew up overweight over the years. I have early memories from being bullied in middle school, junior school, because I was always that kid that always had that extra weight on. So this continued throughout high school, even through my university career. I always had a lot of extra weight on, and it continued to about a year and a half ago, until my doctor, he actually called me into his office and he said, Felicia, you need to lose the weight. I was weighing about 274 pounds at that point.
Right.
And I know that I have a strong history of family diabetes on both sides of my family. Both my mother and my father's side, my grandparents were both diabetic. So it's a huge family history. So he was really concerned about my health. So I went home and I cried.
Gotcha, all right.
Yeah, I'm a crybaby. But
I know you're laughing about it now, but you certainly were laughing at that time,
no,
right?
I wasn't. Thank God for good friends. My friend Kimberly, she pep talked to me and said, Felicia, you could do it. If other people can do it, why can't you? And I was like, okay. And that started my journey where I started to look into means of how to actually lose the weight. And so altogether, as of Saturday, which was my last weigh-in, I lost 119 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing, guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm always curious to know, what is the motivation behind losing weight? And I'm sure the viewers would like to know, what was your motivation behind losing weight? Because I think it's key to any person that wants to lose weight, right?
Definitely.
So can you elaborate on that?
Sure. For me, my motivations changed, actually.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was more, okay, well, I need to lose the weight because I need to be healthy, but I also have to look up to a certain ideal of a body image or a certain size. I also wanted to be healthy for my future family. When you can't run up a flight of stairs or run for a bus without, being out of breath, you
Right.
get concerned about stuff like that.
For sure.
But I found over time, my motivations definitely had to shift. My mindset had to shift altogether. That it's not really so much about a certain body size or a certain image, because sometimes we set false ideals for ourselves.
Okay.
But it's about being healthy. And when my mindset shifted that I'm doing this for a healthy lifestyle, it became a lot more sustainable, and I was able to lose a lot more.
Wow, that's amazing. That's crazy. Certainly there had to be some, I'm sure the viewers would like to know if you had any excuses, and are any of the excuses that you have now any different than when you were beginning?
There are a few excuses that I use. I also hear other people use, because a lot of people, since I've lost the weight, do ask me for advice and tips on how to lose weight or how I lost it. One of the main ones is, I don't know how to lose the weight. There's a slew of resources out there for you and for people to actually just do a little bit of research, or if you know somebody who's into fitness, ask them a question. So the excuse that we don't know how is really not that valid, because we could do the research if we really want to do it for ourselves. Another excuse that we can use is that we can't do it. That is so untrue. I mean, I've actually had people come up to me and they said, well, I used to believe that, people losing that much weight was not true. I thought it was a gimmick. People can't lose that much weight. But when I saw you do it, that means that I could do it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's honestly, I love my food. I'm not gonna lie. I love my food, but you can do it. I mean, it takes self-discipline. It takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of belief in yourself. But at the end of the day, you can get to your goal.
And it was really good that you're able to provide the, change the belief system of a lot of people from that standpoint. Now, you talked a little bit about mindset, right?
Yeah.
How huge do you think mindset is when it comes to losing weight, in terms of what the thoughts you actually hold in your head?
It is absolutely huge. If you don't have a right mindset, it can completely alter your success for weight loss, because you could start off strong and then you could completely fall off. But if you don't have the right mindset that, okay, wait, this is actually a lifestyle. It's not just about getting to a certain size or something like that. I emphasize that because like I went through that myself where I thought that, okay, if I didn't look a certain way, then I wasn't successful in my weight loss. But when I actually change my mindset and say, well, I'm healthier than I was like 5 months ago, or I made so many great choices over the last 2 weeks. So one choice won't really throw me off that much. I can actually get back on and continue. And I think that's how you get into longevity in terms of weight loss, as opposed to just, okay, I'm successful now, then I won't be successful later. I find like there's two sets of people. There's one that will eat it, and then after they'll feel so guilty because of their mindset, like, oh my gosh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm no good, I shouldn't have done that, and they will completely fall off the grain, and they will just start eating all this junk food and start back to square one, or they'll gain back more weight. And then there's like a second person who would say, well, okay, I didn't make the best eating choice. Okay, what's my next eating choice going to be? And then they continue.
And that's you know, right?
Exactly.
All right. Now, you're talking about ideal, ideal body weight. You said your motivations changed behind that. But when you started off, did you at least have some sort of vision, something that you can look at in terms of what you wanted to achieve in terms of body weight?
Yes, of course. I looked at my BMI, my body mass index. So I went to one of those online calculators, and I figured out what it was, and that has been my weight loss goal. So yeah, and that continues to be my long term, which is 4 pounds away as of Saturday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that was your in terms of your goal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In terms of my goal.
So did you? Now you remember we were talking about in terms of vision. Did you have like? You said were you looking at any pictures or anything at all, or did you not really pay attention to that at all, or?
No, I think even though I didn't really look at pictures to begin with, I already had images implanted in my head of what a perfect person would look like, or having the perfect weight would look like, or if I'm not toned in this certain area and I have the wings and I have all that good stuff, that I didn't look good.
Right.
But when you actually change that mindset, it actually helps you a lot in the long run.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. What in general, what advice can you give to someone that is looking to lose weight and is probably struggling, has some subconscious beliefs that they can't do it? What would you say to our viewers about that?
Two things for sure to start that stick out to me is number one, don't let anybody tell you that your goals are unrealistic. That was actually one of the first things that happened to me when I started, and it's all love, and I understand that they were probably in their own mindset that my goal was actually unrealistic, but my goal of losing 123 pounds didn't seem fathomable to them.
Right.
So don't let anybody deter you from your goal. As long as it's a healthy goal and it's realistic for you and it's something that you want to be healthy, then I think go for it. You can completely do it. Also, on the flip side, when you're closer to your goal, I think you should finish what you start. There's times when you do start losing a lot of weight, and because people are not used to you losing that much weight, they're like, you're fine. You don't need to lose anymore.
Yep.
But it'll still feel unfinished,
Gotcha.
Unless it's like you're losing too much health-wise and your physician says this is enough, I think that you should just finish what you start.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge what you said. What you said there. I think a lot of people let people discourage them from going after the goals. But I think the key thing is, and I talk about it in the book, is that you have to set goals that are believable to you, and you just express that. So that's huge there. Now, one of the questions I've always wondered is, do you think eating unhealthy is linked to emotion in some way? Because a lot of people say if they're not feeling well or not feeling a certain way, they decide to eat junk food. Or do you think that's just some excuse that people use?
I think yes and no. I think food can definitely be linked to emotion, especially because if you stem back food to years ago, food gives you certain or gratifies certain emotions like sugars give you certain highs, or certain carbs give you certain energy. And I think that over the years, especially when it comes to, I blame media a lot, because we've learned over the years through even watching television that we want this when we're feeling this way, or we want to buy something because we've seen it 100 times. You know what I mean? So I think that we've actually carved ourselves to want certain foods when we're feeling certain ways. So, for example, there's some women, I was one of them, that if I'm feeling down, I'll just go to the kitchen and have a box of cookies, no problem, you know, or, you know, you're feeling another way and then you'll order a pizza and you'll just have that to yourself. You know what I mean? So it definitely can be linked to emotion, but you can curve that. And you can actually talk to yourself. I don't think it's crazy to talk to yourself. I talk to myself now all the time.
Okay, gotcha.
Where if I realize that I'm going into the kitchen to eat something because I'm feeling down or I'm feeling blue, then I actually could talk myself out of doing it. Like, why are you doing this? That's an emotional eating habit.
Gotcha.
And you walk out of the kitchen, no problem.
So there was a mind shift change there.
Definitely.
So you started off that way and then you flipped the script.
Yeah.
And essentially, so
Yeah.
that shows if you're going in that path, guys, you can switch it.
Yeah.
Despite what other
Definitely.
people would think or the media tells you or whatnot.
And if you think it's bad enough, you could also seek counseling. Yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Now, how would you say you feel now that you've lost weight compared to when you first had it on? Do you have more confidence? Has your energy level changed? Can you let the viewers know how those things change for you?
Yeah, sure. In terms of now versus a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
I definitely have a lot more energy, completely. I feel a lot more healthy. I mean, I could run a lot longer and a lot further.
All right.
I don't know if you ever watched that Simpsons episode of Homer when he's running and he runs a few steps and he's like, I no longer have to do that. So
Okay.
I'm grateful for that, you know. Through doing this like cardio exercises, you know, your lungs get stronger, you're able to do, your cardiovascular health gets a lot better. So definitely in terms of confidence, getting there. You know? Yeah, you know, you still have old mindsets sometimes that you still have to break in terms of the way you look, being satisfied with, you know, your goals that you do achieve and being grateful for that. So it's actually a slow transition.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, so that's for me anyway.
Excellent. Now, I find that a lot of people where they go wrong is that they don't have some sort of schedule or routine.
Yeah.
Now, do you have some schedule or routine that you use now and that you've been using to, you know, keep the weight off and take more weight off? Do you have a schedule? Or?
I do have a schedule, but I do it weekly. For me, when I was working, it's completely different than for now when I'm not working.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
So it's all about being disciplined enough to tweak your schedule according to your life at the moment, you know?
Yep.
Like there's some seasons of your life that working out in the morning will completely work for you, and then other times when there's no way you can get up at 4 in the morning to do a workout before 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
So
definitely.
the evening would be better. After dinner, you digest your food so you don't get stitches, and then you're good to go. You know?
I hear you.
Or, you know, it just depends on your life. So for me, I do it weekly. If I know that I'm going to be doing a certain amount of things, I'll be like, okay, well, the best time to work out is in the morning, or for other times in the evening, okay. And even throughout the days, okay, what am I going to eat today? You know, you kind of could plan that out too. Especially if you know you're going to be out, okay, you can say, well, today I'm going to have a salad. I'm not going to eat any junk food. I'm going to make sure that I look past all those food courts. I'm not, you know, you can pep talk yourself throughout the day too.
I hear
so
you.
it does help.
Excellent. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And now, would you is there any secrets in terms of what you do now that you can share with our viewers in terms of, you know, diet, exercise, some quick tips that you've learned that you can share with the viewers? Or?
Of course. So number one, I'm going to emphasize there are no quick fixes. Okay, there's no quick fixes.
Excellent.
Diet and exercise. I mean, there's so many products out there, and yes, like they could help in some sense, but if you look at the longevity of that, are you really going to be investing your money into those products for the rest of your life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if your answer is yes, I think you should like check out the price tag on that, because that's a huge lifetime investment. I think that if you learn how to lose weight through natural means, it's a lot. You have a higher chance of actually keeping it off in the long run, because you've learned how to tweak the way you cook. You've learned how to tweak the way you eat. You know what types of foods give you energy, what types of foods make you sluggish. Like for me, I was on a low carb, high protein diet. That worked for me. There's a lot of other programs that are out there that work for different people, but that's what worked for me.
Gotcha.
Low sodium, no sugar. You know what I mean? So I cut out all those things that either retain water weight or could spike up your insulin levels and turn into fat, right?
That's for sure, yeah.
So I definitely learned how to live without the potatoes and live without the rice and the pastas, you know? You can eat stuff in proportion, but if you really think about it, we don't eat in accordance to proportion. People say that all the time. Well, I do proportion. No, you don't. Like, if you actually read labels, and that's one thing I've learned on the diet program that I'm on, if you actually read labels, we do not follow serving sizes whatsoever.
Wow.
Like, for example, you could have a barbecue sauce that's 230 milligrams of sodium and maybe 18 grams of sugar for 2 tablespoons. Now, if you're making chicken,
Oh boy.
sometimes people use
boy.
like half of a bottle or maybe the whole bottle just for one serving size. Now that's 2 of those servings times the amount of tablespoons in that whole entire bottle of barbecue sauce.
Wow.
So you can't call that proportion.
Right.
You have all those calories. So that kind of barbecue sauce, like I'm thinking Diana sauce, for
Right.
example. It's a great sauce. I use it all the time, but I use the portion. Yeah, I think it's like 90 calories. So that's 90 calories times the amount in the bottle.
Definitely.
So that's not proportioned.
Right.
Or, other foods too. Read your labels. Learn how to read your labels. Eat according to serving sizes, or eat good foods that could fill you up.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? Watch your spices. Don't consume too much salt, especially if you're a woman. Because we retain water very easily. Watch your salt. Stuff like that. Eat a lot of greens.
Greens.
The greener the better.
The greener the better? Excellent, excellent. In terms of exercise, are there any secrets that you can share there? Things that you've learned to quickly lose weight or?
Yeah, sure. Number one, be patient with your body, because there's so many times that we plateau and we think it's something that we're doing, and really it's just your body adjusting to the weight loss that we're doing. You know what I mean? So, just keep consistent. Sometimes you have to change it up a bit to break plateaus. If you're doing a certain type of exercise, maybe add another type of exercise to break it. Maybe intensify it a little bit, because our body does get used to certain exercises that we do. If you're looking to lose more weight, cardio. I did a lot more cardio in the beginning, and then, do like resistance bands or weights to build muscle. Building muscle, it actually helps with your metabolism, so it helps you to burn a lot more. So the more muscle mass you have is the better. It does weigh a lot more, but it helps you at the same time.
Burn more calories.
Burn more calories,
And,
exactly.
a lot of ladies don't want to lift weights or anything, but they don't even have as close as much testosterone as male. A male has like maybe 10 to 30 times more testosterone.
Exactly.
But ladies, get to the weights. It will help you. It certainly will help you. Do you agree or?
I completely, absolutely, 110% agree. And also in terms of toning, one thing that I've learned, because I ask a lot of questions, and that's one thing I would actually emphasize on. If you go to the gym, grill those people. Like, they're standing there. Ask people questions. Ask your friends questions. Like, go online, look up stuff, like there's so much knowledge out there. Sometimes you just have to pick someone's brain to figure out, okay, that's how I learned even how to use a lot of the machines, or in terms of toning and what to do. Like, for example, if you want more toned arms, for example, yes, you could lift weights, but if there's like a layer of fat on top of it, you're not going to see the results that's actually under the layer of fat.
Gotcha.
So that's why exercise is good, but your diet is so much more important.
Right.
You could be doing all that good stuff and not see the result of it because you just ruined a whole day's worth of workout after your workout because you ate a Big Mac. Like,
for
treat
sure.
yourself better than that.
I hear you. Yeah, definitely don't do that, guys. Definitely don't do that. Now, just as we end here,
Yeah.
did you want to leave us with any thoughts? Just leave us with any thoughts that you want to share with the viewers. Do you have any thoughts to tell them in terms of weight loss or life or anything of that nature?
Yeah, you can do it. You
Sweet.
can definitely do it. You know, set your goals, set a long-term goal, and then set smaller goals to help you get to that long-term goal and get there. If you make a mistake, just dust yourself off and wipe your tear and keep on going, you know. The only person that could put the limit on you is yourself. So if you break through those limits and you break through those barriers, you can absolutely reach your goal. If it takes you a little longer, who cares? As long as you get to your goal and you can make it.
Amazing, amazing. I actually like to call that the measure, monitor, and adjust model. That's what you were saying there. Well, Felicia, I definitely want to thank you for doing this interview with me.
No problem.
I'm pretty sure it'll help a lot of the viewers there. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys in my next video, all right?